Hi everyone, I'm Bob Bannister from iManageAcademy.com. I'm going to speak to you just for a moment about 4 metaphors we can use when we are influencing. So considering what the situation is and choosing a particular behavioural metaphor to help us think through how we approach influence in that given situation. So here's the model. It works on the basis of whether we want to maintain a relationship or not. So we put friend and foe. So the friend area is where we want to keep that friendship maintained or that relationship maintained. On the foe side, we're not worried about losing that relationship in the future. It's a one-off influencing situation. I don't need to hang on to it. And then the other axis, we're going for guide or enforcer. So am I actually supporting somebody and guiding them, or am I being much more deliberate in enforcing a particular outcome when I influence? So let's just work around the model really quickly. So if I am in the space of enforcer and foe, so I don't want to maintain any relationship, and I want to make sure that something happens in a forceful way, then the analogy is the bull. So we know, kind of the typical picture of a bull. It's blunt, it's direct, it's confrontational, it's forceful. And that really is this metaphor for the style that we're going to embrace if we want to influence in this way. Now, to be really honest, we probably don't want to influence in this way very often. If we were in a situation of war, a theatre of war, then yeah, we would. We would pick up, we were enforcing, it's a foe situation, so we would pick up bull-like behaviours. We would be blunt, we would dictate what's going to happen, we would push our way through. So not something that we really see moving across into many organisational situations, but it is part of the whole mix. It kind of is a way to influence in a situation. Let's move across the bottom. So I want to come across to this idea of fox. So here I'm not looking at protecting the relationship, but it's on the guide side rather than the enforcer side. So the fox, the typical caricature of a fox would be manipulative, clever, sort of a bit covert, underhand, maybe scheming, quite persuasive, we could say, politically self-serving in its worst case, I would think. But what we're doing here is we're trying to manipulate a situation and influence it that way, in a sort of a cunning way, rather than in a blunt, bold way. So again, this is not a really predominant behaviour set in the workplace, but you know what, having a background of negotiation and procurement and supply chain, I've seen plenty of fox-like behaviour over the years in business, where we've been negotiating multi-million-pound deals with clients, with suppliers. And you see this fox-like behaviour happening, people kind of manipulating, making moves that are going to create a different impact later on. So bull, fox on the foe side. Let's step up and talk about the friend side. So that's where we want to maintain relationship and keep that relationship flowing and active in the future. And 2 positions here. So dog, let's go with dog. This is on the guide side. And so we're wanting to support somebody in influencing them. I think really guide dog is the good analogy here, isn't it? If you've got a blind person with a guide dog, that guide dog really supports that person move around town, kind of supports them to live, really. So the dog analogy here, the metaphor we're using is safe, it's gentle, it's relaxed, it's one of genuine care, I would say, and huge trust between the parties. So we can influence in that way. We can be really supportive of somebody and get alongside them and guide them in that sense of being like a guide dog and steering them in particular directions, helping them avoid dangers or situations that would be unhelpful. So that's the dog metaphor. The final one, elephant. So this is where I still want to maintain the long-term working relationship. So it's in that friend space, but maybe here I want to be more enforcing and more dominant in the way that I bring about my influence and the outcome that I want. And so the analogy is elephant. You know, it's big, it's strong, it's firm. There's a confidence with an elephant. If it's going to go somewhere, it will go there. You know, it necessarily won't rush, but it will be strong and firm, and you won't change the direction that it's going in. So it's a powerful picture. It's one of, no, this is right. This is the direction we're going in. Yes, this is what we should be doing. And this kind of confident pushing through barriers and influencing in that way. So 4 quick metaphors: bull, fox, dog, elephant. When you walk into influencing situations, it's really helpful to carry these pictures with you, because if you think about the behavior of the animal, that starts to help you tailor and shift your behavior in a way that is going to be useful for the outcome of the situation. So think about the situation, think about how you want to influence. Do you want to be a guide in that situation or an enforcer? Do you want to be a friend? Hopefully that's most of the time. Occasionally do you want to be foe? And then pick up that metaphor and take those behaviors, those represented behaviors, into the influencing situation to help bring about the outcomes that you're looking for. Join us at iManageAcademy.com. There's loads of free content there. Follow us on Twitter at iManage, and of course subscribe here to our YouTube channel for loads of free content.